Oh. Good. Creaky. Let's continue.
じゃあ行ってくるよ。
Hello, Diana. How are you? I was charging for a bit, so let's go see if it actually. All right. How are you doing? Okay, did he say something?
じゃあ行ってくるよ。
Okay, yes, he did. All right, I can listen now.
車に気をつけるのよ。
How was your day? What'd you do? Did you hear back on when you're moving yet or not yet? What it's so funny, Diana? Played Roblox with Surplus and Risa. Nice, okay. Was Risa on the phone? Right. Because you say usually she uses your computer, right? Changed it to that. Good. Not yet. Okay.
晩ご飯までには帰ってらっしゃいね。
Wait, so what was happening today? Why was today so important? Today was the day of... Oh, the barbecue party! Yeah, okay. That was the Hinamizawa Fighters Victory Celebration. Risa keeps getting on Surplus for pronouncing it that way? On Surplus for you pronouncing it that way. Risa keeps getting on Surplus for... Why is she getting on Surplus for me pronouncing it that way? Sorry, I have to get my water bottle. I didn't have it there. Well, Surplus pronounces it the same way. Oh, okay. How is it pronounced then? If there's a different way to pronounce it. Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Though with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat. The I isn't like an E. Oh. Rissa? That's usually not how people say that, though. Usually it's like people say, like, you know, Risa. Rena was already at our usual meeting place. Mion arrived a few minutes later.
よっしゃ。じゃあ早速行こうかね。おじさん朝ごはんを抜いてきたからお腹ペコペコ。
さすがだな。
Yeah, I think it would definitely make sense. If you know like a big thing is coming, then yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. To that you would just skip breakfast.
もちろん俺も朝食抜きで万全の体制だぜ。
二人とも
Rena didn't skip breakfast.
健康に良くないよ。 レナはちゃんと食べたんだよ。
Yeah, but Rena, you're not gonna have as much food as you want for the
そうかそう
barbecue.
か。レナは偉いぞ。朝食は一日の基本だもんな。きっと成長途上なミオンを飛び越してナイスバデーになってグラビアを独り占めだ。
Why is he roasting? Okay, sure. You know what? Fine.
はあ、グラビアを独り占め。ナイスバデーになったらレナのとこにも白馬の王子様とか
Sure,
来てく
Rena.
れるかな。
If you're happy about that.
絶対来ないと思う。
What's definitely not happening? A prince coming on a white horse? Why? Mion, she can dream,
レイ
okay?
ちゃんも責任取れないならレナにいい加減なことは吹き込まないように。
If you won't take...
こ
Okay.
の子、明日から3食くらいまとめて朝食を取り出すかもしれないよ。
Isn't that just having 3 meals a day? What do you mean she might... Okay. That's what I don't understand. How does eating breakfast lead to, like, let's say a good figure, right? And then why would she just start eating more breakfast? Like, this doesn't make I don't understand this logic. Yeah, I could see Rena doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think was gonna come for her?
ま、その話は置いといて。とにかく俺たちはいい感じで腹ペコだ。さっさと行って大バーベキュー大会としゃれ込もうぜ。
The venue for said barbecue was to be the Furude Shrine Grounds where Rika-chan lived. It's not gluttonous? Oh, you mean like what Rena was... No, I'm saying like, I'm not saying she's gluttonous. Like, I just don't understand eating breakfast. No. But I just... Like, I just saying, I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand their entire logic for this. Like... Curse Keiichi. I don't know. Like, this entire conversation just didn't make sense to me. How does... Like, skipping breakfast is bad for your health, right? And then it's like, he's saying that you'll get a nice body by doing that, but then he goes back on her and then says, oh, she's gluttonous if she starts eating 3 breakfasts. Like, what? I don't understand what... you're contradicting yourself, like, multiple times there, I feel. They held events and festivals there, and barbecues too. It was the place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Hinamizawa. Come to think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Watanagashi or something? Okay, Chi. The scenery you could see from that high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere particular to shrines was something fairly difficult to find in the city. Okay. But... yeah. Now that I think about it, before... They sprung the Watanagashi on him and he was like, oh, I didn't know that was coming up. But this time he actually has heard about it. I don't know if that changes anything, but he's actually heard about it this time. Whereas before, he was like, oh, I didn't know there was a festival coming up. What? We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrine steps and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. When we arrived on the shrine grounds, the Hinamizawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and begun setting up for the barbecue early. Of course, Satsuko and Rika-chan were there as well. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us. Surplus won't be coming today. Yeah, no, from what you said yesterday, I kind of expected that.
皆さんが来なければその分お肉が多く食べられましたのに、実に残念でございましたよ。
甘いぜ、サトコ。俺たちが来た以上、まさか霜降りが一口でも食べられるなんて思ってるんじゃないだろうな。以前ここで弁当を食った時を思い出せ。俺とサトコの致命的なリーチさで今回も圧倒してやるぜ。
なんですって？
Wait, what did he say?
そんなの絶対に許せませんわ。
Oh, okay, I see, I see. I'll be overwhelming you once again. Okay, okay.
泣こうがわめこうが。
What are you thinking
目の
about?
前で牛肉を頬張るのを見るだけだ。
I wasn't thinking about anything. I was responding to Surplus's message that he wrote.
安心しろ。ピーマンやナスは譲ってやるからな。
僕も
About
さ
that-
とこにかぼちゃを焼いたのを
Yes,
いっぱい
about
いっぱ
that.
い譲ってあげますです。
He sent me the screenshot that you took, or sorry, that you and him had, the conversation that you had. And I just responded to, and sent that to me, and I just responded to that. When Satsuko heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. When she took my overwhelming reach into account, she knew it wasn't just a threat. It could actually happen.
監督に伝えとくよ。さとこはかぼちゃが大好きだって。監督
And
の
I'm just
こと
gonna
だか
start
ら
crying.
日本全国から特産のかぼちゃを山盛り集めてきてくれるね。
Look how sad she is. She's so sad.
よかったなサトコ。どのかぼちゃもよりどり緑だぞ。朝から晩までずーっと3食かぼちゃ三昧だ。
Yeah, then she starts crying again.
レナレナ、みんながいじめますな。
Satsuko tried to leap into Rena's chest. Oh no, clearly given another second, Rena's mock punches would have have us piled on the ground. Just before Satsuko hit Rena, I grabbed her by the nape of the neck and pulled her back. A superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Rena, when I caught the leaping, crying Satsuko, it looked like I was keeping her to myself. Oh. Bam, bam, bam.
ダメだよダメだよケイチ君。これはレナのなんだよ。お持ち帰り。レナさん。その調子でミオさんとリカもやっつけてですわよ。
ちょっとタマ。
Do you want me to watch the video now? Oh, and then now Rena's beating up people again.
さあ、リカはどこですの？
After this scene, sure. Okay.
レナさん、あそこでしたよ。
Not Rika. She's literally scouting people out to be beaten up.
でね、さとこちゃん、すぐにやっつけ
And
ちゃ
now,
う
no,
よ。
but Rika's gonna like turn the counter and be like cute or whatever, and then Rena's gonna like go punch Satoko.
そしたらすぐにお持ち帰り。みー、さとこがひどいのです。はう、リカちゃんもかわいい。はう、お持ち帰り。
Okay. Thank you, Rena. You know, wait, I feel like that's okay. Everyone has their catchphrase, right? I feel like that, like the line that they repeat the most. I feel like "I'm going to take you home" is Rena's catchphrase. Like, I feel like that's the thing she has to say the most often, right? Like, not taking into account just like sounds or whatever, like her how, right? That has to be the thing that she says the most.
リカ、そう思わないでございましてよ。
And then Rika's thing would probably be like, how pitiful. And then she's just like starts, when she starts patting your head like that thing, like that. Well, no, but that's like, we're not counting sounds, I feel. Satoko laughed in a shrill voice at Rika-chan and Rena's unproductive game of tag while we watched them, sprawled out on the ground. Why are you angry about that?
大丈夫ですか前原さん園崎さんも
Okay. We have this guy here again. The coach came over and lent us a hand.
まあ私たちのいつものコミュニケーションですからどうぞお気遣いなく。
いつも顔面にあざが残るようなコミュニケーションはもう
This
嫌
guy
だ
is a freak. Yeah. From what I saw yesterday, I see he is. You never learn, do you? Laughed the coach loudly. It made us start to laugh too. Satoko's laughter, Rika-chan's yelling, Rena's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. The adults here knew what they were doing, so the barbecue was ready in short order. As the salad oil dripped down for the salad oil, all I can remember is just Keiichi literally filling up salad oil to the brim. Like, when he's cooking something. Like, I don't know how, like, I don't know how he, like, why he thought to, did he just, like, never see his mom cook before, like, ever? As the salad oil dripped down the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat on it, we cheered again.
あー、これ本当にすごいお肉だよ。監督、本当に大奮発したんだね。
約束ですからね。これなんかグラムいくらするか知ってます？本当に奮発したんですよ。
How much did all of that weigh? Also, where do you even get money from? Like, what is your job? Like, surely, like, he says he works part-time. Like, it's his part-time job that he comes here sometimes, like once a week or twice a week. So, where does he get money from normally?
三流のお肉じゃ昨日の私の大活躍をねぎらうには値しませんでしたよ。そうだね。今日の主賓はさとこちゃんに違いないね。
確かに最後のホームランを打ったのは紛れもなくサトコだもんな。
So, about your sister Diane, so,
小細工なしの特大
even
ア
though
ーチ。
she's corrected surplus multiple times that it's Rissa, like the, you know, yeah. Is it, does he still do it on purpose, or does he just, like, forget?
さとこは運動神経は良いのです。
Oh, I forgot I was supposed to watch your video. Oh, well.
悪いどころか世代的には突出してるんじゃない？
She could be one of the best of our generation, is that true?
私なんかと比べても運動
He
能
was-
力
oh,
は
I
決
see,
して
okay.
劣らないでしょ。
さとこちゃんってひょっとすると将
I
来
mean, it's not
は
like she ever
スポーツ界
corrected
に
me.
大活躍
I
で
would
きる
have,
かもね。
I would have changed it if she ever corrected me, but she never did.
なんだか褒めちぎられて照れますわね。むしゃむしゃ。
Is she eating the meat already? Satoko, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after the other, was just far too cute. Alright, right there with the meat talk. We can go look at what you put here. What is this, Diana? What is that? What? Is this like... I worked really hard on this. So it's not like he just felt it. He like actually tried. I don't even know what to say. Like, what even is this, Diana? Okay. I don't think this is how it would... I guess it's gothic. But, like, I don't know. I feel like this is not how it would sound. Like, unless he's literally going through war times. Like, unless he's literally fighting for his life during all of this. Like, that's how it feels, at least to me. W reaction streamer, of course, thank you. I know. I really work hard for these reactions. Alright, what do we got here? Next cat joke. Let me make sure I take all of them out properly. Yep, all of them are out now. Which cat was also an Egyptian queen? Cleopatra. Wow. That's so amazing. This is so stupid, man. Like, why does this even exist? Like, genuinely, other than me, who like uses this because it's like I have this cat thing on stream, who genuinely goes out of their way and like needs something like this, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pull up to the party, and then they're gonna love my cat joke flashcards. Elementary school teachers, maybe. Fair, that makes sense, yeah. Tomita-kun and Okamoru-kun were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate.
おお、これぞまさしくバーベキューの主人公の到着じゃねえかよ。
The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. The grilled, burning hot meat juices made a shh noise as they drizzled off. Gulp. You need a lot of heat for cooking something on a metal skewer, so they had grilled the whole plate at once.
やっぱりこれがなきゃバーベキューとは言わないですよね。
ああ、まったくだ。俺も手を貸すから、早く持っていこう。
Wait, so this was the vegetables? Yeah, okay, skewers with vegetables and... Oh, okay. Wait, so they already just... Who prepared the skewers then? If I thought they were... the meat was gonna come later.
よいしょ。よいしょ。
わー、見て見て、すごいのが来たよ。
Everyone greeted us with a chair. Each person received a skewer with vegetables and big pieces of meat on it. They also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. In the left was a cup of juice that I could chug down. If this didn't make you want to dance, you weren't a man. Oh, Keiichi? Okay, yeah, I guess so.
おお、もう我慢できないぜ。
Meat! Wow, meat!
ガブッといくぞ。ガブッと。
Gobble gobble.
まだまだケイちゃん。ほらほら。一応
He's
セレモ
so
ニーってことで。
dumb. He really is. Like, what is that? Is he a rooster? I'm gobbling it down. Gobble gobble. He's so dumb. Oh my gosh.
みんな注目。
The coach with a cup of beer in his hand mounted the nearby beer cooler. This was supposed to be a victory celebration after all. We needed an opening statement. Damn, I hope it ends soon. For every second this goes on for, the little more of the food's freshness goes away. Ah! Satsuko stomped down on the back of my foot.
まったく、いい年の男が卑しいですわね。
Satsuko, you're
少しエ
younger.
レガントに我慢できませんの？
俺ってつくづく思ってることが顔に出ちゃうのな。
じゃあ
Wait, yeah, it's
みんない
the
いですか？
Satsuko yell from before, the mga.
昨日は大勝利でしたね。すごいピッチャーの登場で苦戦もしましたが、こちらも同じくらい頼もしい助っ人の登場で見事逆転勝利を
Also,
収
I
めることが
actually
できま
really
した。
wanted to see that scene with Keiichi and the baseball like pitcher at Angel Mort. Cause like I don't know, they felt like they were setting it up. It probably didn't add anything to like, you know, Higurashi as a whole, which is why they had that in the first place, but I think it would have been cool to have that entirely. You know, I want to see that, like, even as a tips, you know? I would have liked to see that as a tips. But, I don't know. Or as a tip? Because it says tips, right? But I don't know if it's in Japanese or whatever. It classifies as each individual tip, or it's like tips. You know? I don't know. Clap, clap, clap. Both my hands were full. The tip menu is weird. Okay. So the adults and older brothers gave us a round of applause.
今日はその戦勝祝賀会です。約束通り美味しいお肉をいっぱい用意しましたからね。今日はいっぱい食べて次の試合への
Also, this
活
guy
力に
apparently
してい
has
きましょう。
maids, which we figured out as well. Or which he told us, I guess. Then after a few words of thanks to the fathers and brothers who helped with the barbecue, he led us in a toast. They said that when toasting, you would normally down the contents of your cup, but we were young. At the toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. Because it gives the reader more information than the character's POV has. But the thing is, there was the entire thing with Satoko and her traps. That, like, you know, they were there. Keiichi was there for that. Like, the entire, like, so far, Chapter 3, Keiichi's been in all of the tips. Or, Chapter 3 so far. After that, it got really lively, with everyone congratulating one another for the things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch, or how awesome someone looked when stealing a base. Of course, they congratulated me too, the savior who appeared to fight against the Koshian pitcher.
まあ俺の活躍も含めてあれはサトコの活躍だったわけだがな。
Sure seems like that, but there's been maybe one or two without him. Okay. A random news article. Yeah, I know that. I know that. I know, like, more often than not, he's like. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know why. Like, that scene was so important. I feel like they could have included something, you know, of them at Angel Mort. At least I think so. Like, maybe it could have been like an awkward scene of them realizing they have nothing in common, and then they go their separate ways. And then that could be you know, a way that they just break off. Like, I don't know, I feel like that would just be cool piece of information. At least maybe for me.
亀田を口説き落とすなんて真似はケイちゃん以外にはできなかったわけだし、十分ケイちゃんも称えられるに値する活躍をしてるよ。
そういえばケイチくん、あの後、
Okay.
亀田くんと一
Well,
緒に
maybe
ケ
they're
ー
gonna
キを
talk
食べ
about
に
it
行
here.
ったんだよね。なんだかすっごく仲良さそうだった。
ライバル関係から男同士の友情が芽生えちゃったわけ？
And we're talking about different things. Okay.
そういうのってなんだかその
Rena, you need to... I don't know what you're thinking of right now. I violently brushed through Rena's hair as she turned red in the face for some reason at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasant-seeming ideas. Is Rena a yaoi enjoyer? I'm not specifically talking... The fact tips exist is... and it's interesting. Oh, okay, yes, I see. Now then, where's the hero, or rather, the heroine, Satoko? Oh, there she is. Satoko was with Rika-chan in the middle of bragging her heart out about the home run yesterday, and her teammates spared no compliment for her. Since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she hit a throw from a Koshian pitcher was something else. Satoko was more loquacious than usual. It seems she was in a great mood. She was flying so high that I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her. So I decided not to bully her at all. Are you saying that, Dianea, as a... The thing about the tips, are you saying that as a way for me to acknowledge that and be like, okay, the fact that the tips exist is interesting, hint, hint, nudge, nudge? Or are you just saying that as, oh yeah, it's interesting how it exists? But she was the leading actress today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Satoko going at things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spent with her. Both of those were the real Satoko. I didn't care which it was. No, everything I have to say about... Okay, yeah. Yeah, because that's what it seems. A lot of the stuff they say about tips, it feels like comes up in the, like, upcoming chapter, or, like, or it came up sometime, like, very briefly earlier on. I don't care which it was, her smiling happily or making a big, lively fuss like this. Just as long as she would keep smiling like this forever.
楽しそうですね。あんなにはしゃいで。
The coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gazed at Satoko from afar, like I'd been doing, he addressed me. So I could tell he was talking about her.
さとこちゃんの笑顔を見てると、なんだか心が洗われる気がしません？
He smiled, refreshed, searching for confirmation. I felt a little embarrassed to admit it, so against my better judgment, I played it off.
そうですか？あいつの笑顔じゃ皿一枚ろくに洗えないと思うんですけどね。
それを聞いたら、さとこちゃん怒るんでしょうね。でも、そんな彼女もとってもキュートなんですよ。
Dude, you should... I mean... Sure. Let's not make it like let's take you at face value first, and you're not trying to be like super strange yet. Let's take it normally. Leaving her cuteness aside, I could understand him thinking Satsuko getting angry for being teased would be funny.
イリアさんでしたっけ？
イリエ。
入江です。でもみんな監督って呼びますからね。前原さんも監督と呼んでくださるととても嬉しいです。
Keiichi, although somewhat generic anime MC, doesn't feel like a self-insert from the audience, though. Definitely. I think, like, yeah, he's not a self-insert at all. And I think, usually self-inserts are, like, if you don't see the main character's face at all, or if it just says, like, main character, or it's, like, a generic-sounding name, but they've, like, given personality, like, they usually don't give the main character personality, so you insert your personality into it. But they gave Keiichi a personality, they have shown his face, they've done a lot of stuff. They do make him Keiichi Maibara, and not self-insert. As he said that, Coach Irie smiled, blushing a little.
監督はサトコのことを気に入ってるみたいですね。
He has no sprite yet, though. Yet? Yeah, he doesn't have a sprite, but we've seen his picture in art a couple times. I didn't have any real basis for saying that. It was just what I felt to be true.
ええ、気に入っていますよ。大好きです。彼女がもっと大きくなったら
Okay, yeah. I had a feeling it was like going somewhere like there. This guy really says some insane stuff, doesn't he? After being astonished by this, I hurried to put my mind back in order. I'd heard that this coach guy was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. According to Mion, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically wouldn't be able to take it. If I was able to ignore that part of him, he seemed like he'd be a really funny guy.
あれ、今前原さん驚かれました？じゃあひょっとしてさとこちゃんのこと狙っています？それは困ります。私はもう何十年も前から狙ってるんですよ。
Dude, what do you mean decades? She's 12. She has been alive for 1 decade. Unless, like, he was going after her mother as well, and he was like, I will, like, impregnate the mother and then marry her child. Like, unless that's what he was doing.
監督、何十年も前にはまだサト
Okay,
コは
thank
生
you.
まれてない
Thank
と
you,
思うんですけ
Keiichi.
ど。
Actually, like, having sense for once in his life.
ん？
He definitely was doing that, wasn't he? Coach gave a dry grin and laughed. Was this how I should be doing it? I must somehow master the art of responding to this coach guy. After that, I received many words of praise for my actions. Almost too many. As that conversation was happening, leaving aside the controversial statements this coach person would spout suddenly, I learned he was very composed and not a bad guy by any stretch.
俺なんかよりあの特大アーチを放ったサトコの方が賞賛に値すると思いますよ。正直あいつにホームランを打てるなんて思わなかったです。
さとこちゃんのお兄さんはどちらかというとおとなしい文系のタイプでした。きっとさとこちゃんはその反対の才能に恵まれたんでしょう。
But oh no, because he didn't join the baseball thing until things started getting weird for him. Okay. Yeah, okay, it makes sense. But they said that she was playing when they played baseball together, so I don't get it. Like she would join in with the others, so I don't know. Her brother, right, he meant Satoshi. The one who loved Satoko and ran away from home. Satoko's Nini. Satoshi Hojo.
ご存知ないですか？さとこちゃんのお兄さんです。北条さとしくんと言いましてね。彼もひなみ沢ファイターズで活躍してたんですよ。もっともっと活躍してほしかったんですが、転校してしまいましてね。
Wanted to play him a lot more, but then he transferred.
へえ、そうなんですか。
So he transferred. Yeah, maybe that was a little more considerate than saying he ran away. I think he mentioned it. I think it was Rena. I think she said Satoshi transferred too. I didn't know the details of him having run away from home at the time, so I didn't pay much attention to it, but...
兄貴だけ転校したんでしたっけ？そういうのって珍しいですね。
Everyone having fun was far away and their cheerful voices distant. The chorus of the cicadas separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear. But for a really long time, Coach didn't respond to my words. So at this point I began to wonder if I had said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, Coach finally spoke.
不幸なことがあったんです。
Okay.
いろいろと。
Okay, so it seems like I'm guessing this guy's gonna explain to us about the Watanagashi, right? So, from at least from what it sounds like. So in chapter 1, it was Takano and Tomitake-san. In chapter 2, it was mainly Shion. In chapter 3 is this guy. Let's see. After informing me that what he was about to say was a secret, Coach began to talk, a little at a time.
もう3年になります。ちょうど今頃の時期でしたっけ。さとこちゃんのご両親が事故に遭われましてね。
事故？
ええ、旅先の公園で展望台から転落されましてね。
Okay, yes. Well, they fell from a viewing platform. Yes. They're supposed to be just a little time away from the house with the family. We went for a walk on a path through a nature park after it rained. There's a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. That was the stage in which the tragedy was set. The metal fixtures in the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time. With all the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Satoko's eyes, both the fence and her parents... Wait! Did we know that Satoko saw them fall? I feel like we never got that information. That she saw them fall. There was a river some tens of meters below. The water level was high due to the rain, and apparently very muddy.
それで、両親は？
Coach gave a thin but melancholic smile and touched his paper cup to his lips. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate that accident was. Now Satoko's parents had left on an eternal vacation. That's one way to word it, Keiichi. Sure. I don't know why you're, like, when talking to yourself, that's how you word it, but... Sure.
じゃあ、サトコって、
I was so focused on being careful with my words that I lost what I was going to say. Single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed and how much it would hurt Satoko without having to say it out loud. Come to think of it. Satoko lived with Rika-chan. At least that's what I thought I heard from the others. Wait, Rika-chan, her father died from illness too, and her mother soon after. I felt like I'd heard she was living by herself.
ええ、今はフルデさんと一緒に生活しています。二人ともご両親がいなくて心細い日もあったでしょうが、助け合いながら生活しているようです。親の庇護なく生きていくっていうのは、あの年頃にはとても辛いことだと思います。前原さんでもその辺はわかるでしょ？
I've only survived because I rely on my parents, so the only reply I could give was to nod.
フルデさんは特に村のお年寄りに慕われていますからね。この村にいる限り生きていくのにそんなに不自由はないでしょう。
She won't want for much.
そういえば、
Oh, she
そうです
doesn't
ね。
want a lot of things, I guess?
リカちゃんって村のマスコットみたいなところがありますからね。確かにこの村での生活には困らないように思います。
Rika-chan could go meep just once and get 2 or 3 croquettes from a vendor after all. I felt like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would.
でもそれはフルデさんだけの特別な
I
事
feel
情
like
で
there's
す。
a lot more. Like, everyone's always saying, like, oh, Rika could do whatever she wants, and it's all... It feels there's a lot more than that. There's a lot deeper stuff with Rika. And just like, oh, yeah, she's the mascot. Everyone loves her. I mean, I think it's even evidenced by the fact that she got killed by Mion.
サトコちゃんも同じというわけではありません。
Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. Upon thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. It wasn't then very difficult to imagine how much suffering Satoko had to go through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. Was I really thinking that? No, I was only thinking the words. I couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There was no way I could. I found out she was living apart from her brother, and I kind of vaguely thought that it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Satoko was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? When she found out my parents were coming home the other night, Satoko said, "Family sitting around the dinner table. It's the most fun way to enjoy a meal of all." Those words held a lot more weight now.
あの子を養子に迎えようと本気で思ったこともあります。
養子？
Okay, but why you talk about marrying her then? It's a secret. After warning me, Coach put his index finger to his lips.
私はこの年になるまで本当に堅実に生活してきました。
Yeah, I'm good, not gonna lie. I'm down for Satsuko getting adopted. Not by this guy.
財産もあるし、信用もあります。
Do you have a good reputation?
ですが、結婚だけはしてない。法律で既婚者でないと養子は取れないって決まってるんですよ。だから私は
Is that a
ちゃん
thing?
を養子にして
A
あげら
single
れないんです
individual can't adopt a child? I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe back then,
残念です
okay.
さとこちゃんにパパって呼んでもらえる計画は早くも頓挫ですから。
This guy spouts some crazy stuff. At first I was only half listening, but midway through I realized how rude that was. This coach person seriously only wished for this one girl, Satoko, to be happy. That was neither crazy nor was nonsense. He just wanted her to be happy. Those were his true feelings.
さとこちゃんの今の生活は決して幸福なもので
This
はない
says
で
a
しょ
lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this guy walked up, and then like I heard the first couple lines from him. I mean, not the first couple lines because he was talking about the baseball and all that, right? But once we actually started talking with him, it's like this guy is one of the worst characters. I'm sorry, I don't trust you as Satoko. I don't.
でもね、それをほんの少しでも和らげてあげたいと思ってるんです。もっとも余り物のお裾分けや力仕事のお手伝いくらいしかしてあげられませんがね。
幸せですよ、サトコ。
Coach showed surprise at my having declared
こんな
that.
にもサトコの幸せを強く願う人間がこんなに身近にいて不幸なわけがありません。
I spoke with a serious expression, quietly, but firmly, all the same. It was my approval of his feelings and my gratitude as Satoko's Nini.
ありがとう。でも、さとこちゃんには内緒にしてくださいね。彼女、私が養子にしたいなんて知ったら、こんなスケベ男なんか誰がパパと呼ぶもの
But
ですか
didn't she already say
って
that?
憤慨しそうですか
Did,
ら。
like, yeah. Didn't take long for my plan to get her to call me. Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. I see. I wonder. Satoko may have been somewhat childish, but she was still able to empathize with people. She'd call him that. I knew it. As if my feelings had gotten across, Coach grinned, satisfied, and returned his gaze to the hustle and bustle before us. Her parents and her older brother. She lost her family, had no relatives, and was huddled up with Rika-chan, who was in the same situation. Satoko Hojo. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at her life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way. She lived energetically with a smile.
あの子にはね、
Someone's
いつ
gonna
まで
appear
も
soon?
笑っていてほしいんです。
It was a naive wish, and yet it was one that he couldn't help hoping for. So the words I spoke were the same.
奇遇ですね。俺も同じことを考えています。
おや前原くんもですか？では私たちは仲間ですね。約束しましょう。
約束？
Promise. It's a very simple one. The coach said this, giving me a grin.
絶対に彼女を泣かせたりしない。
Like, why are there so many ominous, like flags about this? We'll never ever make her cry. Something's gonna happen. Also, wait. What does that mean? She cries like every 2 seconds. She was crying earlier, actually. So, I think we have to be more specific here on what we mean by make her cry. It was short and to the point.
はい。俺もそれ約束します。
Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. We just sat there comfortably gazing at Satoko and everyone else having a good time. She'd certainly lost family, but there were people watching over her. How reassuring must that have been?
仮にですよ。サトコを養子にできたらどうします？
それは難しい
What do you
質問
mean
です
about
ね。
that? What would you do? You adopt her. What do you mean, what would you do? Coach gave a wry, happy smile and then exaggeratedly tilted his head in contemplation.
まずですね、私のことをご主人様と呼ばせて、
There
優し
she
く可憐
is.
なメイドにします。
は？
How does this guy always pick the craziest time to say the craziest things?
前原くん、私まだ何も言ってませんよ。
何言ってんですか？今はっきりと言ったじゃないですか。
Keiichi, are you deaf? That it literally wasn't his voice.
そうそう。 聡子を自分専属のプリッチーなメイドにするってはっきり言いました。
ああ、それはいいですね。
Yeah, And now this guy goes
さ
back.
とこちゃんをプリチー。
Yeah, this guy.
プリティとプリチーは似てるようで微妙に違いますからね。日本のわびさびをミックスした和洋折衷の言葉なので注意してください。
なるほどな。いやー、日本語はほんと奥が深いよな。
Okay, sure. What a time to arrive. Hello, Ruben.
そうそう。
Yes, you have joined at a interesting time. By the way, you weren't here last time. This guy is my new least favorite character.
ケイちゃんはよく理解してます。ではそういうことで。
Degenerate. Like, it's not much though. Like, it's rising. Like, Keiichi has gone from the last to second to last. This guy's the last. My hand shot out and grabbed Shion, smiling, waving, and about to leave by the nape of her neck.
おい待てこら、突然現れて何をとんでもないことを言ってやがるんだ。
Okay, so at this point, has Keiichi already understood that Shion and Mion are different people, or what?
とんでもないことって言ったら、ケイちゃんと監督がしてた聡子ラブなトークの方がよっぽどとんでもないと思いましたけど、養子縁組のあたりから再現してご覧に入れます？
The adoption bit?
お前、そんな時から
Keiichi has only been raised a little because this guy has gone below. Like, if you add someone in and put them at the bottom, has the thing that used to be the bottom raised, or is it in the same place it was before?
お姉にすらかなわないケイちゃんが私に歯向かおうなんて100年早いってことです。
This was Shion Sonozaki, the younger of the Sonozaki twins. Though she hadn't a scrap of the reserved quality you'd expect from a little sister, she was a villain no better than her older sister, Mion. We met the other day in town and I dug myself into a hole when I mistook her for Mion. Unlike Mion, Shion said she was living in Okinomiya, so I thought we'd never see each other. But to think we actually would. My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. That must be what people mean when they say something is like water off a duck's back. How?
シオンさん、よく来てくれ
What
ま
does
した
that
ね。
expression even mean?
来てくれないと思ってがっかりしてたんですよ。
If there's enough bad things, the best poop will look more favorably. I mean, definitely. I definitely agree with that, but I don't think there's enough. Like, if you have like poop and vomit and spit and like all around, right? Then like, you know, maybe like the spit won't look as bad compared to everything else, right? But if you just have spit and let's say, I don't know, something else, like, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. I'm giving up on my analogy that I'm talking about. I don't know. What was the pink cube clip, Ruben?
まあ他にすることが思いつかなかったってことです。ちょっとからかいに行こうかなくらいですので。
監督、どうしてシオンが
So I'm guessing this is
戦勝式係に呼ばれなくちゃ
after
なんないんです？
Keiichi discovered, like, walked in with Mion. Or sorry, walked in with Shion into Mion's part-time job. That's like the only thing I can think of. But then I don't, because yeah, I think after the, because it's before the Watanagashi, right? That all that happened. Yes, I think so. But I don't remember exactly what day these things took place.
こいつがどうチームの勝利に貢献したっていうのか。
それはですね、実は私がひなみざわファイターズのマネージャーだからなんです。
A what?
マネージャー？嘘だろ？そんならなんで昨日の試合にいなかったんだよ。
Why did the manager have to be at the game?
マネージャーはマネージャーでも幽霊マネージャーですから。てへ。
Oh, shit. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, fair, fair. But yeah, by the way, I watched that scene yesterday and it really wasn't that bad. I generally think this guy appearing and talking to us was not nearly as bad as like that entire scene.
シオンちゃんが来てくれないと試合に花がないんです。練習までとは言いませんから、試合にくらいまた昔みたいに応援に来てくれませんかね。
Does the manager come to games?
まあ考えておきます。
Oh, sorry, come to practice? Like, is
ケイ
that
ちゃん
what
がひ
usually
なみざわ
happens?
ファイターズに移籍するんなら考えてもいいかな。私かっこいい男の子がいないと応援する張り合いがないんです。
Did Shion just smoothly say something absurd? Okay, this is after the fact that he saw Shion and Mion. Yeah, together. Suddenly, Mion came running over, latched onto my shoulders, and pulled me towards her.
ああ、みーちゃんの妹さんだ。
Oh, and this is also their first time like meeting
しー
them.
ちゃん、こんにちは。
Like bell
Minasan,
peppers? I'm actually not the biggest fan of bell peppers. I find them too I don't like they're I've never liked bell peppers that much. They're a bit too bitter and crunchy for me. Like it just stands out too much. It's like I want things to meld together, but the bell peppers just stand out too much. Stop! Why stop?
まだ1回しか会ってないのに名前を覚えてもらって光栄です。
ああ、こちらこそレナの名前を覚えててくれてありがとう。そんな挨拶はどうでもいいの。
Why does Mion freak out every time she sees
ケイちゃん
Shion?
の勧誘なんてダメだからね。ケイちゃんは我が部のホープなんだから。
This, okay.
野球なんかに引っこ抜かないで。
Do you like jalapenos? Jalapenos are nice, but does have I don't mind the spice of it. And I think the taste can be pretty good. But I don't like the texture of jalapenos. I don't like hard jalapenos, like when there's a crunch to it, but if there's a soft jalapeno, I like that. Keiichi's bullshittery. It is... that's part of the reason why I think Keiichi is at least going up a tiny bit. Because he does have a way with words. He is he's very good at persuading people. Mion gave a low growl as she grappled my arm. She looked like a little girl desperately clinging on to her toy.
ケイチ君はうちの部活の期待の新人なの。だからトレードとかは全然ダメなんだよ。
Then a smile hid a nonchalant bloodthirst. She was blocking Shion's way, ready to unleash an ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. I felt like this was going to turn into a bloody battle.
それは残念です。じゃあ交渉はまたの機会に。
あんたに交渉権なんかないの。単独。なんでシオンまで呼んだわけ？
That's one step of the K-Goat cult conversion. No, I definitely, I think it would be crazy to say, he's still, sometimes, right? He uses that power for not good things as well. Let's keep that in mind, which is why it can't be too high up. All I can say is that he will just talk and he will just spout. I mean, literally, you could, yes, he does have a way with words, but think about that entire conversation between him and Tomita and Okamura in chapter 2 during the game. That he talked about Satoko and Rika. Right? That's him using his, skill for, in a bad way. So, yeah, I agree. He does have he's very good at persuading people. That doesn't mean it's a good thing if he doesn't use it properly.
シオンは丸1年もサボってる幽霊部員じゃない。
I like bell peppers. Nice. I mean, if you enjoy it, that's the main thing.
シオンちゃんがいると賑やかになって楽しいかなって
I
思
think
ったん
bell
です
pepper.
け
Like,
ど
what is it?
ね。
I don't. Okay, I will eat bell peppers if they're like very like cut up finely. Like, I don't like when bell peppers are like really in big chunks and you like have to bite into it. But if it's like cooked into a stew or something and it's like it gets really soft and like you don't really like, that's what I'm fine with, because then it's like they you know, it's just there to bite into something. But if it's like I can actually taste the bell pepper taste, I don't like it.
実に賑やかになりました。
That's what he planned for all along. Mission accomplished.
ほらケイちゃんおいでおいでみんなでゲームやるよもちろん罰ゲーム付きでね
With strings attached. Okay.
しーちゃんもどう？ルールは簡単だし楽しいよ。
I want to play PVZ2 now. Why PVZ2? And not the original PVZ?
どうしようかな
Wait, have I seen this face on her before? This looks like Mion's smug face, but I've never seen this on her before.
私が参加すると勝っちゃいますからお姉の部長としての面目を潰しちゃうと悪いですし
Mion, now irritated, turned around with a glare. What is that? She's powering up. I've been eating a lot of fruits and vegetables lately. Nice. That's always good. That's great to hear. Eating a lot of fruits and vegetables is always good for you.
なんですお姉私も一緒に参加して姉妹対決にした方がいいですか
I enjoy fruits. My favorite fruit is strawberries. Those are my favorites. I don't think I have a favorite vegetable. But I definitely more like fruits than vegetables. Actually, no, I do have either broccoli or mushrooms, I think, are my favorite vegetables. But unless you can't, like, yeah, unless you're not counting mushrooms as a vegetable, in which case broccoli is, but that's not a debate I want to have right now since I don't know anything about that, really. There's an orange bell pepper in plants in 2 that's hot. They burn stuff. Oh, yeah, I think I've played that one. I'm not sure.
多分やめといた方がお姉のためだと思いますけどあかんべ
What was that sound?
塩なんか混ぜてやらない
I was having raspberries and blueberries the past couple days. Nice. Those are good. Yeah. I enjoy berries. Berries are nice. Surplus was saying he doesn't like berries because they're too sweet.
仲間外れべーだ
Whoa, Mio just avoided direct confrontation. Seemed like the twins were completely incompatible with each other.
混ぜてあげないの？みーちゃんとの対決見たかったかな？
私シオン嫌いあいつと戦うのは苦手なの
An angry Mion dragged me away. Slide.
頑張ってくださいねここで応援してますからケイちゃんファイトおう
Xion waved her hands at us, revealing the bliss of teasing Mion. Alright! Club activities had begun, which meant I needed to clear my mind. What was today's battle? Today's punishment game. I take anything on.
ほらほらケイチさん覚悟なさいませよ。今日は徹底的に行きますわよ。
Didn't Surplus say this is Keiichi's theme for when he locks out?
おう上等だぜサトコだろうと誰だろうと手加減無用でぶち殺
Yeah,
してやるぜ
そこをレナは漁夫のりで優勝だよ。僕はそれに小判ザメで優勝を狙いますです。はう
Okay.
リカちゃんが小判ザメみたいにペター
What are you saying, Rana?
本持ち帰り。
よしみんな今日は大人数だから簡単で分かりやすいゲームにしよう今日のゲームはね
Oh, I guess we'll never know. Wow, I guess they're really leaving us in suspense here. Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to... What? What? You're really gonna do that to us? Basic. I understand. No, I definitely understand. No, I definitely understand why, but they can't even say like she's today's game is, and then like she could have said the game, but no, she said just today's game is, and then they cut it there. Like you couldn't say what the game was. Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay, was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny?
あの時のケイちゃんの顔、お前らそれでも人間かよみたいな。
And we still don't know what this game is.
ちくしょう。長期の買い占めまでは作戦通りだったのに。
Let's try to work out what this game is.
サトコとリカちゃんの裏切りさえなければ。
When he bought up the scissors. It was going great while we had maintained a united front, but Satoko had been quicker to betray me than I her. She was just a tiny bit better than me. Ugh.
だから北条を信じちゃいけないって警告したんですよ。
Tomitaka and Okamura-kun were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Satoko's traps pretty early on as well.
そう。
I'm surprised, Dianea, that these, like, what is it, these two kids only came up 4 times between you and Surplus, because it seemed like they like, come up pretty frequently.
富田君たちの分まで頑張るつもりだったのにな。
And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. The ghost, yeah. Hoop covered 6. What are you saying, Dianea? Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet.
で、部活メンバーの最下位には何か罰ゲームがあるってことになってるんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
Shion remarked as though forcing me to recall something I try to forget, even for a moment.
そうだったかな。
Yeah, but what exactly am I gonna say about them? I don't know. What do you say about other people that you've brought up more?
そういえば前原さん、委員長と罰ゲームを決めるときかなり熱くなってましたけど、一体何を罰ゲームにしたんですか？
Okay, what did they decide on?
さっきお姉にエンジェルモードの制服を調達してくれって頼まれたんですけど、それと何か関係あります？できる限り大きめのサイズでって言われたんですけど。
Tomitaka-kun and Okamura-kun were giving me these complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. Okay, and there he goes. Keiichi, once again, if he's getting stabbed, he's like, oh, this is fine. Whatever, I accept it. Keiichi, when he's gonna wear Angel Mort uniform. I don't know why Mion is so... I think she enjoys that. She wants to see that. I think that's probably the reason why. I didn't mean to do that, no. All I could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more I laughed, the more I felt like it was actually funny. Ah! I lost!
あれあれ前原さん、どうしちゃったんですか？笑ったり泣いたり吠えたり。
He's smiling!
いいんです。あれは嫌がってるふりのジェスチ
It's
ャーなんです。
okay, he's pretending not to like it. Yeah, with the fact that he's smiling, okay? Like, Keiichi, you might need to have, like, some introspection with yourself, you know?
罰ゲームを口実に得られる貴重な経験に興奮を隠せないだけなんです。ねえ。
何が貴重な経験とは。
I held my head in my hands in agony. My state of mind could be summed up with a 3-letter word. It was... Coach gently put his hands on my shoulders. Is he comforting me? No, he's gonna offer him a job or something.
前原さん、苦境を受け入れなければならない時はですね、厳しい指導を受けているメイドであ
Yeah,
ると想
okay,
像する
exactly. You need to, if you're still... He brought up the man thing earlier today. I can't remember where. It was definitely before all that, but he brought up the man thing. And I was like, yep, Keiichi, good for you.
ほら、絶望的なシチュエーションがなんだか楽しそうになってきませんか？いいじゃないですか。
This guy. Right in the face and indulging in his imagination, still holding my shoulders, Coach said, "Okay," and started twirling around like a ballerina. I had to wonder what kind of words associations he had going on in his head. At the very least, it was much different than what was in mine. The first thing that comes into mind when I think of disciplining certainly isn't maids.
富田君、岡村君、君たちの監督は実に面白いな。
Love at this point you're just accepting it, whereas... well, I mean, if it happens, so how much can I comment on it? You know? If it happens every single time, it's like, I just have to get used to it. Like, it's the same thing from before with the mind reading thing. It still happens. But I don't comment on it because it's like, it's just so often.
こんなのでよく監督が務まるな。
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun exchanged glances and answered with dry smiles. Then they added that he was a really nice person most of the time, which is something you'd normally say about a person like that. The coach's questionable revolutions slowed to a stop, and then his expression returned to a clear, calm one, almost making what just happened seem like an illusion. He can switch gears way too fast.
ではお片付けを続けましょう。前原さんは力持ちみたいですからね。
Is that true?
プレートを水場に持って行って洗っていただけますか？
了解です。
I hoisted the dirty barbecue plates, each with slimy oil clinging to it, and looked for the wash basins. Ugh, these are heavy. Where are the wash basins? Over there? Thinking I should make it there before my arms gave out, I headed towards it at a trot. A lot of the adults who'd been helping out were using the wash basins, so I gave up and looked for a different set. I asked them and they told me there were more right by the assembly hall too, so I decided to head that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was just one faucet here. I initially thought it would be too small to wash plates as big as these, but it would still probably be faster than waiting for a faucet to open back there. I turned the faucet and water, much nicer looking than it, gushed forth. Put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hands and tried to rub it clean. Why are they washing the plates now? Also, don't you usually use paper plates for these things? Especially like maybe now, you know, people more environmental conscious, they will, you know, probably use reusable plates. But back then, people definitely use paper plates, I feel, no? It didn't go very well.
はい。スポンジとクレンザー。そんなの水だけで洗ったって無理です。
It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge and a container filled with cleanser to me.
お、
Cleaner
サンキ
to
ュ
me.
ー。
そんなの洗い場に置いて、大人たちに任せちゃえばいいのに、つくづくケイちゃんっていい人です。
I got the feeling that wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile.
シオンがひなみ沢ファイターズのマネージャーだったなんて驚いたぜ。そういうのはめんどくさがってやらないやつだと思ってた。
ええ、めんどくさいですよ。ですから今は完
That's
全
why
に
I
無理
stopped
ですけど
showing up
ね
in time. Uh-huh.
監督、帰ってきてほしいって言ってたじゃないか。たまには帰ってきてやれよ。
まあ、気が向いたら。
Shion made it sound like the end of the world could happen before she felt like it. Whoops. I couldn't keep washing the dishes while preoccupied with conversations. Yeah, you can! I decided to take my task seriously. Keiichi, why are you locking in for washing dishes? I'm sorry. Like, surely that's not that important. Shion neither offered to help nor got in my way. She quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet.
そうそう、聞きましたよ。昨日の試合、ケイちゃんが大活躍したそうじゃないですか。
褒めるなら、俺よりもホームランを決めたサトコの方だろう。あいつ、運動神経良かったんだな。俺驚いたよ。
サトシ君とは大違いです。きっと、運動神経は妹に全部取られちゃったに
It's
違
totally
いな
different
い
from
ですね。
Satoshi. Yeah, so she's met Satoshi. Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence.
サトシ君？
北条サト子の兄です。北条サトシ君。あ、そっか。ケイちゃんって今年引っ越してきたんでしたっけ？なら、会ったことありませんね。
Okay, I now understand what I need to do. Just wait, sorry, give me a second. I now understand the issue. It's because it keeps coming up with different numbers, right? So I need to, instead of auto-modding the number, I need to, so sorry, give me a second. I need to take a break to do this because I now figured out why. I didn't realize they were different numbers all the time. There? Yes, okay. Locked terms. Okay. So this one. There. And then there. Okay. That hopefully should be auto-modded now. I hope those, like, it's a new website that's just been showing up. There we go. Hopefully that should be good for now. I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi. Well, it seems like everyone knew about Satoshi. I'm pretty sure Keiichi except you.
確か、両親が亡くなった後、
Oh, Shion gonna
転校
tell
した
him
んだよな。
everything again? Or like tell him, I avoided saying that he ran away from home and used a slightly more vague words that everyone else did.
転校？誰がそんなこと言ったんですか？
I hadn't realized that Shion's tone had changed slightly. What?
いや、誰って。誰だっけかな。うん、誰かに聞いたんだよ。転校したって。
その誰かって誰ですか？誰かに聞いたから言ってるんですよね、転校って。
誰に聞いたかなんてよく覚えてないよ。転校だって言うならそれでいいだろ。別に問題があるわけじゃないし。
ありますよ。転校届が出されたわけですか？学校とかに。それを誰かが見た？
Oh?
それとも聞いた？
Wow, she is grilling him. Around that time, I not only noticed how awfully caught up on this Shion was, but also how startlingly dangerous her eyes had begun to look.
シオン、なんだよお前。目がマジだぞ。
With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath, pretended to fix her hair, and went back to her composed expression from before.
すみません。でもケイちゃん、よく知りもしないでサトシ君のこと、転校とか言わないでください。本当に。お願いしますね。
Please don't say that he transferred. I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have, but I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now. Sorry.
なんとなく転校と聞かされて、そうだと信じてたんだよ。じゃあ、実際は違うのか？
It was, of course, preceded by his parents. He had left his sister and run away, but I'd wanted to try avoid using the words run away, so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice.
すみません。別にケイちゃんを責めてるわけじゃないんです。ちょっと言葉がきつすぎましたね。謝ります。
別に気にしてないよ。
Okay. That was a fib. I was actually a little scared even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? Before I could ask, she turned on her heel to leave.
おい、シオン。
じゃあ、頑張ってください。ケイちゃんのプレートで最後みたいですよ。洗い物。
Her final remark reminded me of the dishes I had so easily forgotten about. So immersed in conversation we were that it got pretty late. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. I violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I'd finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I'd realized it, and as the heat that had stuck with us all day dispersed, a nice breeze started to blow. Okay. Is that the end? For that? If that's the end, then we can definitely go for another. Okay, no,
では
we'll
皆
see.
さん、集合で
It
す。
seems to be ending soon, though, so we'll see when this ends. Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks. And with that, another fun day drew to its close. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. Satsuko and Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things.
人を裏切る奴はいつか自分も裏切られる。いい見本だな。
There she goes again with her nga.
そんなこ
Whatever
と
that
ケイ
means.
チさんに言われたくありませんわ。レナは誰の口車にも乗らなかったからね。ニー になれたんだよ。だよ。
I got second,
レ
okay.
ナはなかなか嘘に引っかからないのです。
Oh, so that's just a personality trait of hers.
勘がいいのですよ。
Definitely seems like more than that. Almost like she can read your mind. I'm surprised. She seemed like she would fall for the first lie to come her way.
それを言ったらケイちゃんでしょ。他人を食い物にしてやろうと欲張って真っ先に自分が食い物に。友達を紹介すれば紹介するほど高収入なんてバカな商法に引っかかるんじゃないよ。
へいへい、努力しますよ。とほほほ。
Oh. Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. Well, unless it's like Mario Party or Mario Kart or something like that, or Monopoly, in which case friendships will be permanently ruined. It reminded me of how we were all such great friends.
それよりもケイチさんの罰ゲームが楽しみでございますわね。でも本当に実現できますの？店長さんもそんなの嫌だって言うと思いましたよ。
Oh, wait, he's actually gonna go work at the place?
どうだろう。ケイチくんすっごく可愛くなるかも。見てみたいかも。はう。僕もとても楽しみなのですよ。転ばせてふきふきをさせますです。
ああ、それはいいね。
Wait, so they're actually making him work at... I thought they were just gonna have him put him on, but they're making him work at Angel Mort. That is wild.
なぜここ一番で俺は勝てないんだ。今日は絶対に勝ちたい。この罰ゲームは誰かにやらせてみたいと思うといつも負ける。
Yeah, it does feel like he loses all the time,
足りな
huh?
いのか。勝利への信念が足りないのか。
Actually, it feels like in Chapter 1 he won more than in Chapter 2 and 3, right?
敗者の嘆きは蜜の味ですわね。かわいそうなのです。
Pat, pat.
ケイチくんもこうやって強くなっていくんだね。去年のみーちゃんを見てるみたい。
Oh? It's like I'm looking at Mion from last year? What, did she always lose and moan about it in the past? How very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated president Mion was once like that.
余計なことは言わなくていいの。
Mion hastily covered Rena's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing. Finally, Rika-chan pulled on Satoko's sleeve.
さて、僕たちはそろそろ行かないといけないのです。お夕飯のお買い物に行かないといけませんわね。
Are we gonna go with her for dinner? I guess no, they're not gonna... Keiichi has to go home, so he's not gonna go for dinner. I wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Satoko and Rika-chan and decided to get on our way home.
じゃあまた明日学校で会おうね。
Everyone waved to each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow.
じゃあ行こう。
We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear as though it was never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been today. So what's the time of the year right now? Because it obviously takes place at around the same time of the year all the time. Is it like in the middle of summer? Or is it like... Because they said during winter it gets completely snowed out, right? Or is it like... The fact that he's talking about how hot it is, it's June, okay. Oh yeah, because they say the dates like June blank 1979 or whatever it was. Yeah, okay.
そういえばまだ6月
Oh
なんだよね。
wow! If I literally clicked one more, I would see it, huh?
今年は梅雨とか全然ないでいきなり夏みたいな感じだね。
Now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long rain, hydrangeas, and snails. I haven't seen a real rainy season since transferring here.
週間予報によると週明けあたりからはもうちょっと梅雨らしい天気になるらしいよ。
This feels important. That it's gonna rain?
大雨注意とか言ってたから綿流しにぶつからなきゃいいんだけど。
そうなんだ。
1983 right now, okay.
やっぱり梅雨は梅雨らしい方がいいよね。レナは梅雨の長雨って結
I
構好き
also
だよ。
like rain. in the rainy season, so that's good.
長雨なんて気がめいるだけだ
I
って。
always heard that, and I completely disagree with that. When it's just sunny outside, it's just so boring. Rain at least makes weather fun, I think.
ねえ、ケイちゃん。
あ
I was a little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion would need to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child, completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for. So my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion.
さとこに兄貴っていたよな。サトシって名前だっけ？
As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Rena and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? That's what they made me think. But I already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested.
サトシってどうしたんだっけ？引っ越したんだっけ？
That was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feigned ignorance. Mion turned around and looked to Rena for assistance. Rena looked between us and then quietly and softly spoke.
あれ言わなかったかな転校しちゃったんだよ。
When I said those words to Shion, she got upset. So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me.
転校って誰がそんなことを言ったんだよ。
I'd only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it the exact same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my
本当に
remark.
転校したなら転校届とかが学校に提出されるはずだろ。でもそんなの実際には出てないんじゃないのか？
Mion and Rena, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Satoko's older brother ran away out of consideration for her.
別に二人を責めてるわけじゃないんだぜ。ただサトシはどうしたのかなって聞いてみてるだけのつもりで。
I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I had lashed out at them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day had been so much fun, but now... Why did I go and say something that made all of that meaningless? I couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. That's enough, let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up.
別に隠そうとか騙そうとか、そういうつもりじゃないのを分かってほしいんだけど。
Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sounded like the excuses of a child who'd been presented with evidence of her own mischief.
サトシは、転校したわけじゃないんだよ。
Mion said that, resigning herself. But I felt bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Let's stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize, but right before that...
帰ってこないの。
Like Mion's stammered reply, Rena was extremely clear and
帰
resolute.
ってこないって。
ある日から家に帰ってこないの。
He won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally you would say that he hadn't come back yet. At least I thought he'd only say it like Rena did if he wasn't capable of coming back. He wouldn't say it like that when talking about someone who ran away from home.
帰ってこないってどういう意味だよ。じゃあサトシはどこへ行ったんだよ。
知らない。
Rena's word choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold that I couldn't muster a response right away.
だからさ、レナの言う通りなんだよ。ある日を境に、サトシは家に帰ってこなかった。
Mio noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Rena had said.
まあ村中みんなで探したし、警察も方々を探してくれたよ。それで家出じゃないかって話になってさ。
家出じゃないかって話になって。
When running away from home, I thought he was supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he would probably have left some kind of letter apologizing to Satoko. That was just kind of what I figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home.
警察の人が調べたらさ、サトシってバイトとかでコツコツとお金を貯めててさ、それを
いなくなった日に全部下ろしてたのが分かったんだよ。で、名古屋駅だかでサトシによく似た人が目撃されたとかで。
He withdrew all his money before leaving. He withdrew all his savings to fund his escape from home. Was that it? It seemed consistent enough to me, but before I could say anything...
私はそんなの嘘だと思う。サトシ君は家出なんかじゃない。
declared Rena shortly.
ちょっと待てよ。転校したわけでもなく、引っ越したわけでもなく、それで家出したわけでもないなら、一体サトシはどうして？
やめなよレナ。
Mion whispered to her. Rena, however, continued without interruption, and she said this.
だってこれはお社様のたたりだもの。
たたり？
It took some time before I understood what Rena meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little.
サトシ君は消える前に私
Oh,
に
we
教
haven't
え
seen
て
this
くれ
in
た。
Rena for a while. Like, the entirety of last chapter, we didn't see it. I still think this is like, out of all of them, Rena's, like, losing the light in her, like, the shine in her eyes. I still think this one's the creepiest one out of all of... I guess I haven't seen Rika's or Satoko's yet, but... I guess between Mion and Rena, which really isn't much now that I think about it, but... She's the creepier one so far of the two.
誰かに見張られている。後をつけられている。
Shion was saying the same thing, that there's someone watching her.
家の中にまでついてくる。寝るとき、枕元に立って見下ろしてるって教えてくれた。
But Keiichi never felt anyone, so I wonder why.
やめなよレナ。
それは間違いなく、お社様のたたりの前兆。きっとサトシ君は、心のどこかでひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうという気持ちがあったんだと思う。それを、お社様は許さなかった。
だからやめなって。
お社様は、ひなみ沢の守り神様。ひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうとする人を、絶対に許さない。私はそれを謝った。
I apologize
Dem-
for that.
サトシ君はきっと謝らなかった。だから、お社様のたたりに会ってしまったに違いないの。
お社様のたたりだって？
I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro-sama's
警
curse.
察が家出だって決めつけたって、信じない信じない。私は絶対に信じない。そんなの、たたりだと認めたくない村の偉い人たちが決めただけの嘘っぱち。お社様のたたりは、信じようと信じまいと、確かに。
We haven't seen this Rena in the entire chapter 2. She was completely normal, like, you know. So I wonder why she's getting on like this now. Wham! Mion struck Rena in the head, and not in a joking way either.
いい加減にしろって言ってるでしょ。恩和の私でも島には怒るよ。
Pushing her to her limits. Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at the moment. For a few moments after being hit, Rena looked astonished. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind, because after a little while she regained her original calm expression. We arrived at the place we always split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. The voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. We'd always split up with Mion here, leaving just Rena and me.
あのさ、ケイちゃん、前に漫画化すって約束したじゃない？よかったら寄ってく？
Huh? Did you promise that? However, I quickly realized it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone.
あ、そうなんだ。じゃあ、レナは先に帰ってるね。
Maybe she realized it, maybe she didn't. She definitely realized it, Keiichi. Thankfully, Rena quickly said she'd go home before us.
じゃあね、レナ。また明日。
うん。また明日ね。ケイチくんも、あまりお邪魔しすぎないようにね。もう夕方だから。
ちょっと本を借りに寄るだけだよ。じゃあな。
Considering the fun day we had, it was a very... insipid? No clue what that is. Lonely parting.
さっきの、あまり気にしないでね。
After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with
いや
Rena.
別に俺の方が悪かったと思う。
サトシの話は、別に隠してたわけじゃないんだよ。あまり触れない方がいい話だからさ。
At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. No, I mean, from his perspective at this point in time, I understand why. It's, like, we don't know the stuff that happened in chapter 1 and 2, right? And it's like, you feel like it's an insensitive thing to bring up. Like, I understand the idea. Judging by our odd interactions with Rena, I understood it so well it hurt that I shouldn't ever talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then with Shion too. No, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have been interested in it at all. Okay, Chi. How many times are you like, I shouldn't be interested, and then he still does the thing anyway? How many times is he gonna do this? Excuse me. But that's why I really had to think about it. But why everyone got so irritated. Idiot, stop this, Keiichi Maibara. By the time I tried to warn myself, I'd accidentally spoken
もう
already.
二度と聞かないからさ、正直なところを教えてくれないか。一体サトシに何があったんだ。家でなんだろう。
For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally, unable to endure it any longer, she finally began to speak timidly.
お社様のたたりの話は、聞いたことある？
ほんの少しくらいなら。
Mion's the one explaining it this time. Interesting. I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Ueshiro-san was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa that they worship at the shrine we had the barbecue at today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of the dam project, one of the people who worked on the site died or something, and some people blamed it on Oyashiro-sama's curse. So Keiichi knows about this now. That's how it was.
サトシの死んだ親ってのがさ、ダムの誘致派でね。
え？ひなみ沢の人って村中でダムに反対してたんじゃないのか？村人なのにダムの賛成派もいたのか？
The dam project that would flood the entirety of Hinamizawa. I'd heard the village all got together to fight the terrible project, but it was a little hard to believe they were villagers who were supporting it.
まあ、いろいろと事情もあってね。ダム計画に反対する人ばかりでもなかったんだけどさ。で、その親ってのが、誘致派のリーダー格だったんだよ。
Yeah, okay, I always roast Rena for doing that with her hand placements, like when how she curls up her hand. But I'm looking at myself right now, I'm literally doing that exact same hand placement that Rena does. I can't say anything anymore.
誘致派のリーダー格。つまり、サトコとサトシの親がってことだよな。
うん。国はダム工事に伴って多額の保証金を用意してたからね。そのお金が欲しくてダム計画に賛成してた人たちも結構いたんだよ。
Aside from a few households, Hinamizawa was, in general, not very affluent. Not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestors. It wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so, given the situation. It just happened to be Satoko and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to their representative. By that standard, you might say Satoko and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice.
それで、運悪くその両親がさ、お社様を祀るお祭りの日に事故死しちゃったんだよね。それで、お社様のたたりにあったんじゃないかってことになっちゃったわけ。
I thought back to what Coach told me today. They went to a nature park on a family outing and fell from a cliff. Okay, but I don't get it. Why? Because she said it's on the day, right? Why would they, on the day of the Watanagashi, should they not be celebrating the Watanagashi? Why'd they go somewhere else entirely? I don't get that.
で、サトシが家出したのまで、お社様のたたりってことにされちまったわけか。
まあ、うん。そんな感じ。
It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for details.
もう説明するまでもないと思うけどさ、サトコにとっては、 両親の事故も、サトシの家出も、そしてお社様のたたりなんて話も、愉快な話じゃないのはわかるでしょ。
Yeah, of course I knew. I could only nod silently.
だからさ、私たちはサトコの家族の話には触れないことにしてる。サトシのことは、仮に聞かれても、転校したってごまかすことにしてる。その辺の事情を、汲み取ってもらえるよね。
They wanted to protect Satoko's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with.
ああ、わかるよ。俺も軽はずみなことを聞いたと後悔してる。
When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. Without understanding, thinking I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I stopped by again the next time I had the chance.
じゃあな、ミオン。今日は悪かったな。また明日な。
じゃあね。
We waved to each other. Then suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me.
ケイちゃん、あとさ、サトコにだけじゃなく、レナの前でも、サトシの話は慎んでくれるかな。
Rena as
え
well.
さっきので分かったと思うけどさ、レナって、どういうわけか、お社様のたたりの話だけは、笑い事で済まないんだよ。転校してきた時から。
For some reason, but at this point, Mion knows, right? Yeah, judging by how Rena was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us. But if Mion hadn't been here, what might have happened?
どうしてレナは、あんなにマジになるんだろうな。
Not only Rena either, but Shion too.
知らない。レナはね。あ、これ内緒だよ。言ったら絶好だよ。
Mion emphasized this as her expression clouded even further.
言わないよ。で、レナが何だってんだよ。
お社様のたたりに会ったこと、あるんだって。
Oh, okay, maybe she doesn't know then.
え？
私は、悪いけど、被害妄想過剰な何かの思い込みじゃないかって思ってるんだけどね。
So I wonder if Mion doesn't believe in, like... But I don't get it. Is it like the more Keiichi... Like, because obviously Keiichi is important in this story. He's the one influencing events. So is it the more Keiichi does things, the more that the curse takes place? Like, the more that... Like, he's basically changing events in real time? But I don't understand, like, why is it different timelines entirely? Is it just, like, bad endings? I don't know.
でも、
I don't think
本
so,
人
though.
はそう言ってるし、そう信じてる。茶化すとかなり怒る。レナは普段はちゃらけてるけど、怒るとかなり怖い。
レナの前でも言うなってことだろ。サトシの話。
うん。できれば、この話題にも二度と触れるべきじゃないと思うね。レナのためにも、サトコのためにもさ。
For everyone else's sake, too. If I must say, for your own sake, too, Kei-chan. Oh, okay. With her silence, Mion made sure I knew that.
そうだな。うん。わかったよ。
ありがとう。
Saying only that, she waved her hands and began walking away. I watched her go, a little dazed, and then started walking myself. Satoko's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever was the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Satoko to smile, yet my curiosity easily defeated me when I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be just as fun as today too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday, and today we had a blast at the big barbecue party too. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all those fun times. I'll have to be more careful starting tomorrow. I'll put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell, I'm gonna let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. But the more I thought I'd be more careful starting tomorrow, the more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I'd already put an end to those enjoyable days with what I'd just done. That also seems important. So, right here, Keiichi... So it seems like anytime Keiichi starts, like, asking questions about stuff, or it's like wanting to know... Like, it's like he almost materializes Oyashiro-sama's curse. That feels important. It was the same thing with chapter 1. He was the one materializing things. Hey, wait. Calm down, huh? There you go, Keiichi Maibara. The gears of destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened just now was trivial. It doesn't make sense to think my life will be totally different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade until tomorrow turned out to be just as fun as today.
変だぞ俺。さっきのみんなとのやりとり。ちょっと気にしすぎだぜ。
I wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was too long. Okay, the night was too long. Very cool. He does let things get to him pretty easily. Slacking manager, copy of the preliminary autopsy. Why is the achievement for having a barbecue party called Mystery Meat? Okay, let's go in order. Let's see Shion here.
シオンさんも少しは手伝ってください。
女の子に重いものを運ばせようって言うんですか？そんなだからいい年になっても相手が見つからないんですよ、監督は。
ですね。そういうのを曰くこう言います。余計なお世話です。
He was loading the station wagon with 3 heaps of equipment we'd use for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get on their way.
さて、あなた、ここまでは何で来ました？自転車でしたら、積んで送って差し上げますよ。
バイクだからいいです。お心遣いだけで嬉しいってことにしときます。
Okay. I mean, it's
今日は来てくれて嬉しかったですよ。やはりマネージャーさんがいないとパッとしませんからね。
まだ私マネージャーなんですか？1年も丸々
I
サ
mean,
ボってん
what do you
のから。
really have to do
こ
as
ん
the
なものを
manager?
マネージャー、
And like,
いい加減に解雇するべきだと思いますよ。
if you're not doing anything, like, why do you still have the role as manager? Like, what's the point?
シオンさんが辞めたいって自分で言えたらいつでも解雇してあげますよ。
ずるいな。早く解放してくださいよね。試合があるたびに来ないかと電話がかかってくるの。もううざくて叶わないんですから。
You're saying, let me go soon, please. Yeah, I had a feeling like the fact that this was a tip here, it definitely feels like the manager role was something more.
シオンちゃんももっともっと素直になれば、とってもキュートで可愛い女の子なのに。お父さんは悲しいですよ。一体どこでねじ曲がってこんなにひねくれてしまったんだか。
What?
ああ、お父さんの愛の抱擁で力強く包み込めば目が覚めますか？
I
でした
thought
ら
they
遠
would
慮
be
なく。
related. Like, because he was talking about maids in his house and all that. I didn't think this would be his father, or her father. If this is actually her father.
ほら。
Coach was fooling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled into the distance without responding.
何も変わってない。監督が変な人で、みんなのにぎわいも何も変わってないのに。
サトシくんだけいないとおっしゃりたいのですか？帰ってきますよ。きっと待っている人がいるんですから。
勝手なこと言っててください。
彼も罪作りな人ですよね。こんな可愛い彼女を置き去りにしてどこへ行ってしまったんだか。
Oh, that's what she was so pissed about. Okay.
彼女誰が いつまで笑ってるんですか？監督
She still calls him coach, but like I still find it weird that like I still remember like I don't know if that was him just hallucinating or whatever, but he was still talking about him having maids. Like, and it's like, oh, I'll tell the maids to do this, 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 and this. You know? I feel like they are related still. Like, even if it's not the father, I still think they are related. Coach bent over and laughed heartily for a little while.
ではまたお会いしましょうね。試合にも
Why?
たまには応援に来てくださ
Oh,
いよ。
my eyes got used to like the evening thing, and then it got so bright again, and I got flashbanged basically.
まあ、気が向いたら。私、マネージャーなんか全然、もうやる気ないんですから。
いいんですよ。あなたが嫌ならいつでもクビにしてあげますよ。嫌がるのを無理やりってのは私の性分ではありませんからね。
はあ、はいはい。すみませんね、すみませんね。
So she can't leave the manager position for
私
some
の負
reason.
けです。気が向いたらまた応援に来ますので、今日は堪忍してください。
おっと、もうこんな時間。機材返す約束の時間が。先方をもうだいぶ待たせてますね。では今日はこの辺で。また次の試合でお会いしましょう。
ええ、気が向いたらね。さよなら、監督。
That was interesting. Cop the preliminary autopsy. On who? The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. 1. Entire body bound in restraints. Traces left behind from when the body seemed to have been bound indicated usage of a specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on either hand appear to have been bound especially tightly. Oh, this was the victim from the beginning of the game. Before we got into the normal guys, or the normal people. It was like between the house owner and whoever, like in the drain. Highly likely the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. Both ears and nose severed with sharp blades. Traces of the restraint and other things seem to just suggest there was at least one more other than the one who severed these body parts holding down the victim's head. Possible that multiple blades were used, with one of them likely being the scissors or shears. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of each finger on each hand, for a total of 30. The deceased fingers were nailed to wooden planks 20 square centimeters large. Extremely likely these planks were part of the restraining table. In addition, it's likely the table was originally designed for such a purpose. 4. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen is likely to have been a technique grounded in medical methodology using a sharp blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of this process. 5. Body disposed. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the Oji River's third drain. Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible they would have needed at least 3 grown men to have disposed of the body. Toishi-san. Here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy of the slaughtered corpse in the Oji River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as having a possible relation to the S group, to the Sonozaki group. What are your thoughts, Oishi-san? Okay, so I wonder why we're getting this body now when this never happened before. East round 3.
出ましたね。ロンチュンドラさん、マンガンです。
なんす
Oh,
か
this
そ
is
れ
the same area they were like gambling before or something, right?
なんでドラが3つも入んすかバカモンが大石がテンパイしたの
Or
は
like
分
they're
かって
playing
て
some
カン
game
ド
or
ラ
I
増や
can't
しよっ
remember.
てからに自業自得じゃぞ。
チュンさらしたらドラを上乗せするぐらいしかやることないじゃないですか。厄介さらしたらドラそばは切っちゃダメですよ。
I think I've seen this game that they're playing, and I have no clue how it's played. A lot of the Japanese games, I have no clue how they're played. Like shogi as well. It's like I'm pretty sure it's just more complex chess, like chess with more steps, and I have no clue how to like. I don't know where to start with that thing at all. Mahjong, yeah, okay. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, I have no clue how to play Mahjong either. Oishi grinned. You played Mahjong, right, Diana? I think I remember you talking to me about that before. Oishi grinned meaningfully as his buddies, swearing, began breaking down the walls and reforming them.
時に
A
大
few
石
times,
さん、
okay.
どうですか？割れましたか？なんじゃい？ああ、例のドブ川惨殺死体の話かの。何か手がかりはあったのか？
ねえ、まあ。裏はそっちで取ってくださいよ。
さすが。何者です、仏。
間宮里奈、本名は律子。
Rina Mamiya. Ritsuko.
岸骨フラワーロードにあるブルーマーメイドってキャバクラに勤めてたみたいっす。
Okay, I don't think we've heard of this yet.
やれやれ。そらやばい店じゃな。確か、園崎家の若頭の店じゃろ。
Okay.
園崎？あった。S 号関連か。
Yeah, okay. So
難航
it
し
is
そうな山だ
the
な。
S group. Thank you for confirming.
噂じゃあ仏さん、園崎の上納金に手をつけちゃったらしいっす。話じゃかなりシャレにならない規模らしいっす。
女が上納金に手を出したか。裏に男がいそうじゃのう。女の単独犯なんてそうそうないぞい。
Okay.
うん。
Is that a
どう
thing?
せもう死んでますよ。死体がまだ出ないだけで。
そうそう、おいさん。女の同居人、生きてるみたいですよ。
生きてる？じゃあこれから死ぬんでしょうね。害虫が害虫を駆除してくれるんだから、本当に素敵な自浄機能だと思いますよ。
その紐なんですがね。北条鉄平なんですよ。
Wait. Teppei.
北条？誰だい？
北条鉄平。去年、ひなみ沢で起こった主婦撲殺事件の仏の
The
ご主人
husband of
で
the
す。
housewife who was beaten to death last year and he... Okay, so... This was Satoko's aunt was beaten to death. And this is the husband of that housewife, okay.
事件の後姿を消したって聞いてましたけど。そうか。その女のところに転がり込んでたか。
ますますに、園崎の匂いがプンプンだのう。
彼氏は今どこに？
女のアパートに同居してたんすがね。女が自分を捨てたと思ったみたいで、店やたまりのあちこちを探し回ってるらしいっす。
Interesting. Interesting, okay. Spill the tea. What tea is there to spill? If the tea's been spilt, I wasn't the one who spilt it. Ah. Oh my gosh. I am so tired. And I feel very sore. And everything hurts. And I want to sleep. But I shouldn't sleep so early because it's going to screw with me. And yeah, all that stuff. Okay, but yeah, that was chapter 4. We are starting to get... So Shion is always... just like last time, she like needs to find out like the bottom of this mystery or whatever. And Mion and Shion seem to like really... Rena gone back to like psycho mode, like in this chapter, just upon mentioning Satoshi. Mion is giving the outward appearance that she just doesn't believe things at all, which I don't know if that's her. I don't know if that's her just like trying to, because she was talking about in the end of chapter 2 that like, oh, the demon in her heart or whatever. It's like, Keiichi, because you did this, and this, you didn't, like, that awoke the demon or whatever inside of her. So I wonder if that's her just trying to deny herself to try and suppress the demon, or if she, like, genuinely believes this. Because the way she's talking, she seemed to me she's convincing, but I don't know. And then, yeah, we find out the stuff about Satoko's uncle and the person who died. Why'd you do it now? I'm ending now. All right. Oops, current menu and try again. I know. This is save, right? Yes. Okay. But yeah, don't know where this is going to. So this realize the history between these characters that have been kept from Keiichi. Yes. Seems about right. I've already read this one. Oh wait, doing the wrong one. Okay. I think I've done this one. What is the best award a cat can win? The Purlitzer Prize. There we go. And with that joke, Lamau based. Is that based? Yeah. Okay. That'll be it from me then for today. I thought it was gonna be the Academy Award. That's also pretty good. That's also pretty good. Okay. But yeah. That'll be it from me, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed Higurashi segment 4, chapter 3, whatever the name is. Tatarigoroshi, I think. Something like that. Tatarigoroshi, I think. Yeah. Okay, but yeah. I'll be back with more Higurashi tomorrow. And the fact that these things are taking 2 hours probably means I'm only getting through one